at communicating, because the being you're in that I'm describing is very young at communicating. Remember, Mercury is closest to the sun. Once I break this all down, it's gonna make sense to you. But look, I'm describing why we're so early at communication. Mercury is the closest to the sun, which means it came last. Because if it came first, then that means it would have been here before the other planets. So since it's closest to the sun, it came last. So it's youngest. It's the youngest. And if Mercury is the form of communication and thinking and analyzing, then that means it's very young and it's thinking of and communication and analyzing. So as every race every race and every species that's in this being, whether it's on Mars, Venus, the representations on Earth is physical beings that can carry these energies. You know what I'm saying? You got spiritual beings all on those other planets, but as far as on Earth, all the representations that we're going to have as far as forms of analyzing, thinking, and communication is going to be the form of this one body of thinking and communication and analyzing. And since it's young, as a species in it, and mankind, you're a species on the Earth part of this body, your communication, analyzing, and thinking is going to be young. So it's going to be very hard for you to understand large spectrums of forms of communication and thinking and analyzing when it comes to dealing with light and traveling sources and things of that nature. Now, when we get to Earth, Earth is almost like the heart chakra of it. It's the caring, it's the nurture, it's the growth. It's how it physically how it can physically understand things and the physical representation of it. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we experience Earth and we experience bodies. So since you mankind and you experience a body, only reason you're able to experience a body and growth and being a baby and growing into this body is because you on Earth, and that's the representation Earth has. Now, when it comes to Venus is how this being you in love, appreciate, value, and relate to others. Now, when I say others, from this being is other suns. Other suns carry planetary alignments with them, planetary solar systems with them. Solar system, the soul, the sun, the enlightenment. What that sun can see, that personality. You see what I'm saying? So in this case, this being we are in, you got the Venus, then you have the Mars, you have this being's passion, aggression, integrity, intentions. You know what I'm saying? Then we're getting down to the root chakras now, and these are the feelings of the being. You have the love and the hatred of it, which is the Venus and the Mars of this being. Then you have the stability, how it can structure and see patterns, which is Saturn. You have the wisdom, the knowledge, and how it goes through experiences, which is Jupiter. Jupiter is how it remembers and obtains experiences in order to have wisdom, and depending on what in space this whole being is flying through. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all traveling, and all these planets is traveling the head of the head of it, the sun. You see what I'm saying? This is why when it plays out through you, it's your sun sign. This is what people see from you. So with other suns and their planetary alignments, which is a being, with other suns and experience from our reality is how they communicate. But within it, you can't understand it due to your separation. You just being in mankind, you would never understand the world and the life of another being like you in a whole nother solar system, because that solar system being itself might see things totally different. Now I'm about to get into how our being we in, how it sees things. And it's dealing with astrology and everything, because, like I said, we're not talking about God. We talk about the species you're in. You are a species within a species. Same way same way your blood cell is living within you. You are a blood cell living within a being. And Earth itself is a whole chakra wheel living in a being. So this is what makes you feel like you're powerful, because you're able to understand a concept of you being in a whole chakra instead of just being a vessel. You are a vessel within a whole chakra. See what I'm saying? Now, let's break it down. Now, when we talk about this being you're in, you can't conceive of any idea or thought that idea when they say nothing is new up under the sun. Yeah, any idea or thought you ever got is the being you in thought and idea. So any idea you can have about God is all the ideas that this being that you in have about God, about its creator. You see what I'm saying? Now, how you feel, any feelings and emotions that you have or anybody could ever have in the world, even if it's disagreeing with others, that's just dealing with separation within a chakra. But as a being as a whole, any emotion you could feel, anything I could feel, we can't feel nothing out of the realm of reality that this being that we in feels. So the moon, how we just see it as it being a moon, in general, the moon itself is all the emotions and feelings itself of this being. So you're just experiencing your own perception of the emotions and feelings of this one being you're in, which is the solar system. It's a being, right? It's a one-eye being, right? Now, and the eye look like the sun. That's what the eye look like. You see what I'm saying? Now, what happens here? This is why we can't understand how it works, because you're trying to compare it to you, when no, you're supposed to compare yourself to it. You see what I'm saying? Once people realize that science, everything will be better. Stop comparing the external to the internal and start comparing the internal to the external. So what that means is stop relating the things out there to you and start trying to see how you is like the things up there. Boom, science would be so much better. Now, when we talk about as far as the sun, and how it sees things, the ideas, and how you can have any idea, because these are the ideas of the being you in, which is this solar system, right? Now, all the love, how you see love in all kind of ways, and this, that, and the third, is just your own perception of how you can't see the capacity out of love. So if this being you in don't really know God like that, then it's impossible for a species within that being to understand God like that. And the only thing they can tie God to is the actual being that they're in. You know what I'm saying? So they can't escape that. So here I'm about to start breaking it down, why they think it's male, why they think it's why they think the being that you're in is God, why religion is tying it to specific planets, when really it's all the planets as an alignment itself is the being that you're in, and that being that you're in is not God, but every religion, everything that's pointing to an earth that's what's a God is only pointing to the being that you're in. And I'm Archangel Uriel. I'm here to tell you that the being that you're in, yeah, from everything that's describing it on earth or wherever you can point to, or how you love and compassion, yeah, it's pointing to this being. But by no way, shape, or form, this being is God. See what I'm saying? Now, well, all right. Now let's break it down as what's going on, because we know Pluto is the tail end of things, so it's the tail end of life. It's in the tail. It's beneath the root chakra. You know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about this being and describe this being you in, and the true, and when this being was born that you're in. Like I said, it's a zodiac wheel because of how we're logically pointing to it, but really it's just a 360. This 360 goes way beyond any realm of reality, way beyond any zodiac sign and what kind of name and energy we can tie to it. This 360 is just the first being of the first space within a whole spectrum of, before I'm talking about even spaces within spaces to become galaxies and stuff like that. This was one space like a sun, but in this space wasn't. You can't really say it was a sun. It's just a space, 360, even though it may look spherical and round. Now, the 360 realm of reality it took, like I said, it broke down. We could break it down all the way into 12 directions. You know what I'm saying? We have the first direction. Okay, bam, I'm here now. I am. The second direction. Boom, what I have. The third direction. Boom, what can I communicate with what I have? The fourth direction. Boom, now I can build a home from what I communicated from what I have, because now I am. Boom, the fifth house. Let me express this. Can I be entertained by this? Let me see what creatively things I can do with this. Boom, the sixth house. Let me work on this now. Let me work on this every day. Let me create this as a routine. Boom, the seventh house is direct opposite from the I am house. How can I relate this to something? You know what I'm saying? How can I relate this to something or relate to? Or now it's like a mirror. Okay, this is what I have. Boom, the eighth house. Okay, this is how I deeply feel about it now. This is the awareness that I have, and this is what made, this is now starting to create a deep emotion and feeling about what I have in the first place. So it's now creating an emotion and feeling about what you value. That's why it's opposite from the second house. Now, You have the ninth house. Now you got all this wisdom and knowledge. Now you enlightened about it. Now you have the 10th direction, the 10th house, which we call it in astrology. Now this is what it's known for. This is the career built for itself. It's a career from all this now. It's like it's a stable base now. It's like you know what I'm saying, something to be known for now. Now it goes the 11th house. Now it's able to be able to communicate that from a broad perspective now, because now I got a broad perspective point of view all the way from 1 all the way from 11 now. Now it's able to broadly be able to look at everything the same and be able to communicate it and analyze what it just went through. Then the 12th house, it's the whole story. Now it's the whole thing now. It's how you feel about the whole, how I feel about the whole situation, the whole circumference, the whole 360, the whole realm of reality, the whole round, the whole thing. So now boom, it's back to I am now. But now it's I am with all these traits. But now, since, like I said, anything added, in this case, it's just directions and space being added. And now it's with weight and density. So now it has been brought down. This is why when you look at things, it looks like it's up and counterclockwise. Because you are what was clockwise to you. You are that when it came down from being clockwise. See what I'm saying? So now everything is doing that. This is why everything goes in a spiral. Now we just have so many spaces within spaces. Since you in the body you in, you can't tell where the spiral started from in the first place. So now it's spaces within spaces. This space may have started a spiral to go that way. This space right here may have started a spiral to go this way, and everything interjecting with each other would cause logical interference, which makes you want to logically put things together and point pieces together so you can know the relations between things, so things don't seem like it doesn't make sense. This is how you create directions within the circle. See what I'm saying? That's why the circle is right brain and the left brain is square. You see what I'm saying? Now, when we get to talking about this actual being itself, if you want to know the actual characteristics of the being you're in, and the 360 of the being it took, which you mankind call God, which is not God, it's just the being you're in, the solar system you in. This is the characteristic traits it have within its own space. Because you are a space within a space, this being is a space within a space. And the full spectrum of this being is all the planetary alignments following the head of it, the sun, which is going to be the head, the enlightenment, which it can see, the eye, the eyeball. It's the one eye being that you're going to become as one with when we all come together as one and create this rapture. And depending on what we think, which is ideas, our spaces, our spirits, and what we feel, our emotions, make sure it's positive, and the gestures that we in, the physicality and the density of it, that's actually where the direction we're going to go as a whole when we start to control the ship as one. But now, check this out. Check this out. Now, this is what happens. This is the characteristics of the being you in. Look at all the planets in the home sign. This is the basic alignment of the man. Now, when you look at it, it's going to look like, on the zodiac wheel, it's going to look like a round. But when you look at a bunch of astrologers and they talk about astrology, in that zodiac wheel, what do they show? A man going around. They start the head right here and the legs going around like a bent up man, right? That's because that's basically what it is. This is mankind. So you're constructed almost in a way, shape, or form, all species on all planets, and then you can look at the representations on Earth. You are a species on Earth, and look at all the other species. You are smaller representations and forms of the actual being you're in. So ultimately, the being that you in kind of looks like you or things of this nature in the first place, but you can't see it that way because you're within it. So when you look out, you just see planets and things of that nature. But the being itself is a construct of all the planet and the planetary's alignment, and from a higher density, higher frequency vibration. If you say we all came as one as this being, right? And now we're all one as this sun, this being. This being is constructed of the chakra. And now when we look at another being, to us and distance and what's close and far away to us is this another sun. Same way how you look at another person and their actions, you're looking at another person and their sunshine. And we was all as one as this being that we're in right now, is this solar system right now, with all the planets following the sun, the head. When we look at another person, it'll be we're looking at another sun. But in this realm of reality, what's ever created from this realm of reality, it would look like a being, a creature. from how we see things from that realm of reality. You see what I'm saying? So you just tie that analogy to how you see another person like you. That's how, if we was this whole being of the solar system we in, it'll be a being how we look at another being. And in that, the realm of reality that we ever created, within that one realm of reality, that's how it would look to us. It may be a person. Because in so many, like I said, we're smaller representations of the bigger species we in. So if you're a sun sign and you can look at another person's sun sign and you like, it looks normal to you that this person look like you, then don't you think that's how it's gonna look if we was just this being in general? Just with way more realm of reality and way more understanding space and being able to diagnose spaces within space. See, this is the realm of reality I'm from. See, I done did all this before. I done did all the raptors before. That's why I'm able to speak about this. Now look, now check this out. Now check this out. When we talk about this being, let's talk about the characteristics of this being. What's the characteristics of this being? Look at all the home planets, right? At home. Now in astrology, where's the sun at home at? In Leo. Where's Mercury at home at? In Virgo. Where's Venus at home at? In Libra, right? Where's Jupiter at home at? Where Mars at home at? In Scorpio. Where Jupiter and Mars at? Where Jupiter at home at? Sagittarius. See what I'm saying? Where Capricorn at home at? Where Saturn at home at? Capricorn. You know what I'm saying? So you see what happens here? So in astrology, break down the characteristics of a being or a person with this. See, like I said, it look like a bowl again, don't it? That's the man. That's when this being was born, by whatever parents and relationships or whatever like that, and this being. So this is the characteristics of this being. So it's insight. It's insightful. It likes to be center stage, and it has a fixed way of seeing and feeling about things, right? So look at mankind within this being, right? Mankind in general have a fixated way of seeing and feeling about things, and then they pick certain things that they gravitate towards to be fixated towards. So when it comes to religion, when it comes to science, when it comes to things, they have a fixated way of seeing and feeling about it in general. Now, this being itself, this is the being itself in a relationship to its peers, its other suns, its other beings, solar systems. You know what I'm saying? Now, the emotions and the feelings is in Cancer, right? The moon is in Cancer because the moon is at home in Cancer. So the emotions and the feelings is to be nurturing, caring. You see what I'm saying? Emotional, feeling. Now, when we want to break down into astrology as you being a specific species within the species, within the chakras, you on Earth, as it relates to you, we say the right and the left brain. We say the water is more female, and we say fire is more yang. So we say yin be water and earth, and yang be air and fire. Now within, they both have yin and yangs within them. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. But as far as what's going on now, somewhere in the world, whatever intellectual property of a being brought here, they tied yang to male, and they tie yin to female, which in so many respects that's true. So if your sun sign is most important, and then your moon sign is your emotional support, then how you going to play out these characteristics and traits is going to be left brain your sun sign, right brain your moon sign. But look what happens here. If the sun is the most contributing energy and the most powerful energy, and with all the other planets is following here, then if everybody pointing to God as the being that they are in, and if the being we're in logically sun yang, which would be tied to male, this is another form of confusion between the right and left brain, why humans would think the God that they're in is a male. Once again, but a lot of times when you see a male showing a lot of female traits, you look at that male less than, right? You may look at him as gay or something, or look at him like ain't something wrong. But the moon is in Cancer, and it's in a female element. So this is why people can have that trait in the first place, because the being that they're in have this trait. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, now this being that we in is very young. Good looks. It's very young at thinking and communicating and analyzing. You know what I'm saying? Because we know where the Mercury at. We know where the communication at. The communication in this solar system came last. It didn't come first. In other solar systems, it may be rearranged different. It may be the sun, and then it may be their version of a Venus that came first, and their version of a Venus that came last. So I mean, of a Mars that came last. So their aggression or integrity and passions may be very young. So they don't know how to integrate or be aggressive at things. Good, huh? So, you know what I'm saying? It could be that way also. But when we get into as far as the characteristics of the being you're in, you know what I'm saying? It's a caring, it's a nurture, it's got a motherly type nature. It got an energy of, this being got an energy of caring about certain things and caring about certain surroundings. This is why you're able to have that, and this is why this is one of the most powerful things that you have in the spaceship you have. This is emotions and the feelings. Now, as far as the communication, is very young, but it's very practical. But see, what's home here? Virgo. So that's what? Mutable earth. Being adaptable or changeable to his own or other people's ways of thinking and communicating. So right here, I don't want to say that the being that you're in is a follower, but it can show certain characteristics when it comes to form of communicating with other peers of its kind or other. So a lot of times, this is why a lot of species like you within this being may show characteristics of having to look externally or look out to other things in order to see a broad perspective of things, in order to communicate it and be able to bring it to a practical sense or into details. You know what I'm saying? And you have to put it into details by looking at other ways of doing that. So in so many ways, that's what this being is doing as a whole. So this being may follow at times, or may try to understand what other solar systems or what other things is doing for that sake of nature, for that kind of, for everything. But let's switch it up a little bit. Now we know when this being get most excited, we know it's when all the planets is in its exaltations. So we know what kind of being this is when it's at its best state. So when this being is at its best state, we know the sun, we know the way it sees things is in an Aries way. We know the way it feel about things is in a Taurus way. We know the way it communicates. And then here's another thing. When it's like I said, Mercury is weak. I mean, the communication and thinking of the being that you in is very weak. So when we even get to the maximum expression, when this being is at its best, this being still can't communicate right. So even when you're at your best, you're still not even going to be able to analyze or communicate or think about the right concepts that you're trying to do, especially if it's God. If you're trying to think about and analyze God, you're not going to think about it right, because the being you're in can't even think about it right at its best moments. See what I'm saying? So, because right here, Mercury, when the sun is exalted, when the sun is exalted, Mercury could possibly be in Pisces.